All right, let's get right into it. I want to ask you a question. When you're using AI, are you just asking for answers? Because what if I told you the real power isn't in getting answers, but in starting a real conversation? Think about it this way. Using these incredible AI models just for simple facts, well, it's kind of like using a state-of-the-art supercomputer as a basic calculator. Yeah, it works, but you're leaving almost all of its real power completely untouched. We can do so much more. The key here, the big shift, is in our mindset. We can keep treating AI like a vending machine. You put a question in, an answer comes out. It's transactional. Or we can start treating it as a creative collaborator, a partner that helps us build ideas, innovate, and find things we never would have on our own. And that is the journey we're going to go on today.
Now, this shift means your role changes too. You're not just a user anymore. You become the creative director. You bring the vision, the context, the taste, the ethics, all the human stuff. The AI then becomes your tireless creative partner. It brings the scale, the knowledge, and it can iterate on ideas forever without getting tired or bored.
So how do we actually do this? Well, we're going to walk through 5 powerful conversational strategies to make this happen. We're going to talk about multiplying your ideas, challenging your assumptions, gaining new perspectives, sparking some wild creativity, and exploring what the future could look like. Let's dive in. First up, let's talk about multiplying your ideas. We're going to borrow a classic technique from the world of improv comedy. It's called the yes and conversation.
The rule here is so simple but so powerful. Whatever the AI gives you, you don't just take it and stop. You accept it and then you build on it. You use its first answer as a launch pad. Every response from you starts with that mindset of yes and then. It's a tiny phrase that can turn one idea into 10.
So for example, imagine you're trying to come up with a slogan for an eco-friendly coffee brand. The AI suggests, sip sustainably. Not bad, right? But instead of stopping there, you say, okay, I like that, yes. And what if we also bring in the idea of morning energy? Suddenly, you're not just brainstorming anymore, you're building together. All right, let's move on to our second strategy. This one is all about making your ideas stronger by trying to break them. This is the prove me wrong conversation. This technique is just so valuable because it helps us fight our own biases. You know how it is? We all fall in love with our own ideas. So what you do is you turn the AI into your dedicated devil's advocate. You command it to find all the flaws, to poke holes in your logic, and to spot the blind spots you're missing. Just imagine this. You're an entrepreneur. You feed your entire business plan to the AI, and you give it this prompt. By asking it to role-play a skeptical investor, you can find all those potential landmines. Maybe your market is too crowded, maybe your margins are too thin, and you get to fix them before you're in a real pitch meeting. That's a game changer. Our third technique is such a brilliant way to get a much deeper understanding of pretty much anything. It's the explain it differently conversation. The big idea here is that AI can be an absolutely incredible analogy engine. Look, real understanding isn't about memorizing one definition. It's about seeing something from lots of different angles. You can ask the AI to explain a complex topic through a completely unrelated lens, and that's often where the real magic happens. So you might start with a pretty standard question. Ask for the definition of diversification in investing, and you'll get a textbook answer. But then you throw it a curveball. You say, okay, great. Now explain that to me again, but this time use a cricket team as an analogy. And boom, look at the result. Suddenly the concept of diversification just clicks. You can't have a team of just 11 fast bowlers. You need different specialists for different jobs. This analogy makes a complex financial idea feel totally intuitive and easy to grasp. It's brilliant. Okay, time for strategy number 4. And this is where we really get to have some fun. To get truly original ideas, sometimes you just have to get a little weird. You know, we often think creativity is about total freedom, about a blank canvas. But so often, the exact opposite is true. Creativity absolutely loves constraints. By giving the AI a task, but with really strange and specific limits, you force it to get off the beaten path and find completely new, surprisingly original solutions. I mean, how would you design a logo for a company called Orbit if you can't use planets, stars, or even circles? It sounds almost impossible, right? But that's the point. A prompt like this forces the AI to abandon all the cliches and think abstractly. Maybe it focuses on gravitational pull or the beautiful math of an ellipse. And that's where truly groundbreaking ideas come from. Let's move to our fifth and final technique. This one is an amazing tool for strategic thinking. It's the what-if conversation. And it's all about exploring the future. Think of this as strategic wargaming. You can have the AI role-play as your biggest competitor, you can simulate huge shifts in the market, or explore how your industry might be totally different in 5 years. It's a way to prepare for an uncertain future by exploring it first, right there in a conversation. And think about the strategic value here. A bookstore chain asks the AI to imagine its biggest threat in the future. Now, that's not just a fun thought experiment. The very next step in that conversation is, okay, how do we pivot? How do we prepare? This turns a potential threat into a massive strategic opportunity. So there you have it. That's your new toolkit. 5 ways to have a real conversation with AI. Yes, and prove me wrong. Explain it differently. Let's get weird. And what if? This is how you stop treating AI like a search engine and start treating it like a true creative partner. So the next time you open up that AI tool, don't just ask it a question. Start a conversation. Be the creative director, because the most important question isn't what the AI can do for you, but what incredible, amazing ideas you and your new partner can build together.
If you want to go even deeper on these strategies, the original post is on multigyan.in, and we've got the link for you below. And now, I really want to turn this conversation over to you. What's the most creative or weirdest prompt you've ever used with an AI? Drop it in the comments below. Let's all learn from each other. And hey, if you enjoyed this, a like and subscribe would be amazing. Thanks for watching.